But comrades,
Comrade Chair, comrades.
Comrades.
Social justice.
in an increasingly diverse country,
Yesterday I raised with CAC that the lighting, particularly on the Welsh section, is very bright, and this is leading to accessibility. But the problem is it's leading to accessibility issues for people with neurodivergence, including overstimulation.
It should be the pride of our socialism to support the workers in all their aims in order to live that good life. And it's undoubtable that a £15 living wage would succeed in that because it's affordable, we're able to do it, and it's desirable in our ambition for socialism. Thank you, comrades. Solidarity.
Comrades, at every turn, this conference's so-called democracy has been rigged.
Last April, on a cold spring evening, I knocked on the door of a constituent. When I reached out to shake her hand, it was purple and freezing cold. Already back then, she was afraid to put the heating on, struggling to get by on the small pension that she had built up through a lifetime of work. As energy bills and inflation rise even higher, I often think of her. And we will not waver in our support for Ukraine. Fracking is dangerous, it is bad for the planet, it won't even reduce our bills, and with Labour it will not happen. On climate change, the costs of inaction today will mean far greater costs tomorrow. I refuse to leave our children to pick up the pieces of our failure. Conference, I will be a responsible Chancellor. I will be Britain's first Green Chancellor. It's becoming clearer by the day. Labour is the party of economic responsibility and the party of social justice.
Hi, comrades. Comrades, and let's not be ashamed of calling for public ownership. We are socialists after all. Solidarity, comrades.
It is our movement that's been the greatest force for social justice in this country's history. It's time to back us, not attack us.
I am a feminist. I became a socialist because I am a feminist. In our current care system, 82% of social care workers are women, but 40% of senior management are men. The privatised care system means that women working in the social care system are hardly paid a living wage. Meanwhile, the bosses extract huge profits paid for by the loved ones and families of our most vulnerable. I've seen my fellow students, my friends, struggle to get by working in our broken care system. These students are disproportionately migrant women and disproportionately women of colour. We need to recognise the wonderful work that they do with an allowance that properly reflects the value of their work, an allowance that would make a huge difference on the inequality that many working class women in this country face.
Income and wealth inequality has deepened in this country, and here I am talking about it again. What on earth is wrong with us that we can't fix this problem? The systematic inequalities faced by women, Black and Asian, disabled and LGBT+ people.
Unequal pay is trapping women workers in in-work poverty. Their wages are being stolen from them and are being used as a crutch to prop up our public services.
For many years, I actually opposed PR, proportional representation, and electoral reform because I believed it would let in extreme right-wing parties. Well, conference, what do we have? Under first past the post, the most right-wing.
And I tell you, comrades,
I've been to many women's conferences, but this is my first time speaking at a conference with men here.
Comrades, the House of Lords is an injustice. So to quote Che Guevara, comrade of mine.
Low-paid women, who are also black and or disabled, faced even more disadvantage. The issues are intersectional. The fact is that women's so-called work is undervalued. Until society values cleaning, caring, catering, doing sleepings to care for other people's elderly or disabled relatives, doing extra unpaid hours to cover an emergency, doing split shifts and working unsocial hours, We will continue to have unequal and unfair pay.
Now, the current face of the Conservative Party, their continuity leader candidate, simply to save her own skin, is now borrowing an enormous sum of money. This is on top of the fact that they were forced into a left-wing style economic policy during COVID, talking about the £70 billion furlough scheme, which also involved borrowing. At the time, I thought it was, amusing that the hard right of the Tory party, Johnson and Sunak, had to enact leftist policies to the extent their own party ridiculously requiring socialism. But Truss doesn't even know how much she's going to need to borrow and spend. Some estimates put it in the region of £400 billion over the next few years. Increasing these benefits will boost the economy far more than boosting bankers' bonuses.
Our comrades. We are the only country, apart from Belarus, in Europe, that actually uses FPTP. And, I wouldn't say that Belarus is exactly a role model, apart from, being wrapped around Putin's finger. I think it's high time for a real change and to implement a system that creates a House of Commons that represents the diversity of Britain.
Comrades, the right to live in a home fit for human habitation is non-negotiable because housing isn't a market, it is a fundamental human right.
Comrades, we were right to cheer the removal of Boris Johnson because he shamed the office of Prime Minister. But let's be clear, Liz Truss is worse than Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson didn't believe in anything apart from himself. Liz Truss is a right-wing ideological Tory, and Liz Truss is more dangerous than Margaret Thatcher. There is nothing progressive about Scottish nationalism. Independence goes against the values of solidarity and social justice.
Comrades.
Got any advice for an aspiring midfielder in what are his prospects for getting signed?
Everybody in the room who's ever played with me is thinking absolutely no chance.
Make sure you play left of centre midfield.
Yeah.
And you've got to deliver some nice passes to that left wing because they're a little bit noisy.
Yeah.
Very good.
Sorry.